Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm joined by BigManBakar, and Bakar, we're happy bunnies this week. We've green arrows. Haven't had
Yeah,
those for a
green
while.
arrows. Yeah, absolutely. Delighted with a green arrow after, especially after the shenanigans of Game Week 9. I'll take that with both hands. 69 points for me this week. I assume you did similar as well.
I got
So it's
66 after I took a -4, so
yeah,
70 minus
it's
4.
it's nice to be sitting here with some semblance of respectability to our names and our ranks. After we were sort of made to look like absolute clowns after Game Week 9, so it's great to be back with a semblance of respectability.
I was saying to Alex, who edits the videos and all yesterday, I was talking to him. He's probably watching. Hello, Alex. And I said that because through the week, I used to consume a lot of FPL content. Now there's bits and bobs I see whatever's going on Twitter, and I'll read a bit of this, and I'll look at a bit of that, and I'll see a wee article here. But ultimately, like my personal consumption, because I don't consider myself an expert by any stretch of the imagination, is talking to you, Wes, and Abdul every week. So between you three, I like to think of my rank as like an amalgamation of the three of you. Because the three of you are influencing me throughout the week. Suggesting this,
I,
suggesting
I,
that. So I'm gonna blame my rank on you guys.
I mean, I don't really think the expert is a very fair label to give to someone. I mean, we're all learning because in different seasons there are different strategies to be had. We're always learning. The game is evolving. Every year is different. I don't think anyone can sort of nail this game year in year out. I mean, I find it very funny when people sort of refer to a lot of people as experts because frankly we're students of the game, and it's just a game we all love and adore, and we just enjoy playing it. So just because I have this passion and I write about it and I get some traction on it on my socials does not really mean that I'm an expert. It's just the fact that I'm really, really in love with this game.
And then I'll go and I'll title the video FPL Expert Big Man Vicar.
Clickbait, clickbait.
But look, guys, let us know how you get on this week in the comments. I see Goober there with 70 points, but rank 4 million. Well, you'll be climbing if you keep hitting 70 points every week, Goober. FPL Sparta hit 60 points, and 79 for Ragav is the most I can see in the comments. Bakar, we've lots to speak about today. There's a lot about the boys in red. That could mean a couple of teams depending on who you support, but it's Liverpool. We've also got Mitrovic to speak about. There's Haaland. Are we captaining him again? What do we do with City assets? We've Game Week 12 coming up. Foden's on fire and he's much cheaper than maybe an alternative in midfield. Cancelo finally delivering. There's loads to speak about on City, loads to speak about in Liverpool, two of the bigger teams in FPL, and we're also going to talk about potentially rolling this week and why there might be upside in doing that. Before we do, PSV 96 got 76 points, which is a lovely total. 65 for Amandeep Singh. And don't angry me. Got 0 points apparently. Don't know how you'd manage that. I think that's a typo, maybe 70. But anyway, Bakar, we'll open with Salah. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to throw Salah at you. You have Salah, don't you?
Unfortunately, yes.
So
And
Salah's
I
off
didn't
the
think I'd
back.
be I didn't
Sorry.
think I'd be sitting here after Game Week 10 and sort of feeling ashamed to be owning like a seasoned campaigner like Mo Salah. It just hasn't gone right with him this season.
Mm.
What annoys me is the fact that I don't think Klopp has been using his resources very well because ever since Liverpool have shifted to this 4-4-2 formation where Salah is sort of hogging the touchline on the right, almost playing like a right wing back, it doesn't really look good for him because all the goal scoring opportunities are being occupied by Jota and Firmino, um, which isn't ideal, and Nunes when he's on the field. So um, even when you saw the game against Arsenal, he was basically non-existent in goal scoring positions, and at his price, almost 13 million, you're looking for consistent goals and consistent performances. And what's the problem now lies in the fact that you can't really afford to sell him either, exactly because Liverpool have a great run of fixtures after Game Week 12, and it's almost as if he has a blank incoming against City, but you're sort of stuck in a very awkward and tricky position where you don't know whether to sell him before a great run of fixtures after this. and at the same time, you're not sure whether Klopp is going to stick with this formation and he's going to be worth it. I think a lot of this is going to depend on what happens tomorrow in the Champions League against Rangers. I will look at the highlights. In fact, I'll watch the match. I'll see what formation Klopp opts for. Diaz's injury might actually be slightly favorable for Salah because like Diaz likes holding on to the ball and he's a ball hogger. While his injury can it might influence Klopp to sort of move to a 4-3-3, and Salah is much better in a 4-3-3 as opposed to this 4-2-2-2 formation. So again, a lot of this is down to what tactics Klopp is likely to select. I assume a lot of us would not be in a position where we can, use a luxury transfer on Salah because there are bigger fish to fry. For example, Mitrovic could be injured. There's plenty of us with Trent, and there's plenty of us who have who are going to have problems in Game Week 12 and might use our transfers in Game Week 12 and put them to better use rather than to use them on Mo Salah and selling him and potentially even bringing him back later if he fires. But then again, it's a very awkward position to be in because in this formation, I really don't think he's going to be worth the money he's offering.
It's very tough. It's almost cruel from the FPL gods in that Man City blank in 12 because the obvious switch for a lot of Salah owners is Kevin De Bruyne. You obviously want to keep that premium midfielder there. There are guys you could go down to and put the money elsewhere, but then all our wild cards have been hit. We've other issues going on with Game Week 12 in the blank. So it's a hard one for people to really know what to do if they're stuck with Salah. I think it's one of those where you made your bed a couple of weeks ago and you're kind of lying in it at the minute and it's very hard to get out of bed. So
the thing is, you mentioned that a lot of us would go to De Bruyne. I don't think I will. I think I much prefer Foden from now on in because heading into this conversation, Foden.
I see a cheeky smile on you, Bakar. I see a cheeky smile. Are you feeling like you're being a little bit contrarian here? Foden over De Bruyne. Everyone's thinking of going down for the cash, but if they were the same price, would you pick them?
I think in isolation, if both of them were the same price, I think I would slightly prefer De Bruyne because he has the better XGI, but it's not as if that Foden's numbers aren't great. I mean, he has, he's only second in the City team for penalty area touches, shots inside the box. And he's even outscored De Bruyne. What the crucial thing is that he's playing in the front three and he's played all 9 of City's Premier League fixtures. So he's definitely nailed, and this is huge to have a City player who's nailed in Pep's front three. They will get a lot of points because City this season they're on another level. I mean, it's scary watching them play. When you look at their XG, big chances, all the underlying numbers are through the roof. So I just think that Foden over De Bruyne could, with that extra 4 million, could just allow you to significantly upgrade your squad after Game Week 13, because definitely tripling up on City is the way to go after Game Week 13. When you look at their fixtures from Game Week 13, they have Brighton at home, Leicester, Fulham, Brentford, 3 of them being at home. And I mean, these are their fixtures before the World Cup. They can go absolutely bananas in these fixtures. So I personally think that in Game Week 13, I will be targeting the trio of Cancelo, Haaland and Foden. Cancelo as well did really well this week, and it was interesting to see that he was given more of a license to attack. I think this could be down to Walker's injury. Now that Walker is injured, Cancelo's been given slightly more license to go forward because City opted with the Akanji as the right back. So this season, actually 28 penalty area touches for Cancelo. 10 of them came in the Southampton game alone. So if you don't own Cancelo, I think you should definitely have a plan of bringing him back in game week 13. And I really don't think this is a fixture to bench him against Liverpool either, because I do see genuine upside.
I think the thing with him is, the whole big at the back thing's been relatively disappointing this season. It's been in the last week or two, I'm pretty sure we've had conversations, or maybe it was with Wes, I can't remember, but there's definitely been on this channel talks of maybe is it time to move Cancelo on and do this and do that. Based off, I don't know, Foden's excellence and, maybe people wanting to triple up on like 3 City attacking assets. I forget why we had the conversation, but the point is this. Cancelo now has in FPL 3 double-digit hauls, Game Week 2, Game Week 5 and Game Week 10, the most recent there, an 18-pointer. Outside that, he has a 9-pointer and a 7-pointer. Yes, there's a few blanks, But the boom's worth it. And in the Champions League, I don't know. I haven't went and done the maths on what he would have scored. I just know I've seen him get a few assists in the Champions League in different games. So he's returning there. He's returning handsomely when he does in the Premier League. Like,
Exactly.
I feel really bad for the 46% or whatever of owners who don't have him, because I'd say a lot of them started with him, or a lot of them have had him at some stage.
Exactly. And this is the thing with the premium defenders. I mean, obviously some of them are prone to rotation, or they will go through spells of bad form, but they will make it up for it when they haul big. And this is exactly what Cancelo's done. I mean, when he gives you an 18 pointer like he did this week, you forget about, the weeks where he's given you a 1 pointer or a 2 pointer. And that's something very unfortunate with Reece James and Perisic, which hasn't really happened. And I was expecting it to happen with both of them. Both of them, when they've started, they haven't really hit that level this season, which we expect them to do. In fact, James isn't even in the top 10 for defenders this season, and we're in game week 10. So, I mean, it hasn't really gone according to plan, but I mean, you still stick with him just because of the potential that he offers.
We spoke about Cancelo, we spoke about De Bruyne, we spoke about Foden. Erling Haaland. Liverpool, on paper, I suppose, historically, sorry about my dog, I'll close my door over, there's probably a postman or something. Historically, like, Liverpool is definitely not a fixture to target or captain anyone against, but this season's different. Liverpool conceding for fun. I don't know what the record is, but they just keep conceding first.
Yeah.
They've probably conceded first in about 1 million of their last 1,000,000 games. And I think with Haaland, captaining him against Liverpool is what a lot of people are going to do. It's where I've got the armband. It feels counterintuitive. It feels like it's going against every ounce of my being. But Liverpool, as I say, conceding for fun. Trent's out, which might actually help them defensively. Matip's injured. Luis Diaz
Matip
is
is out
injured.
for 2 to 3 weeks as well.
Been out for a while. So they're likely to start with a back line of Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Konate, and Gomez.
It doesn't really look good. It doesn't really look good, does it?
Like Konate trying to deal with Erling Haaland. Even Van Dijk trying to deal with Haaland based off this season's form is going to be funny to watch.
I do think that you don't overthink with the captaincy. I just think Haaland is a different beast this season. You simply have to stick with him. And Liverpool's defensive numbers have been really poor. I actually tweeted this on Sunday after the game, that Liverpool had conceded as many big chances as Nottingham Forest had this season in their opening 9 games, which is incredible. I mean, who would have thought? The defense has been all over the place. It's been absolutely shambolic, to say the least. And I do think that City should make mincemeat of the defense. I do expect them to do well.
Yeah. I can't wait, though. I hope when I can watch it. Do you know where I'm going this weekend, Bakar? It depends what time the match is on. I'm in Paris, and I'm going to meet a load of random fantasy friends, not FPL friends, so rare friends, for El Clasico. I'm going to watch it in a bar, and then I'm going off to watch PSG Marseille. I might have told you about this before, I'm not sure.
I wasn't aware.
Yeah, I'm going to see PSG Marseille. I think we've got some pretty nice tickets too, so I'm excited for that. But my point is, I don't know if I'll be able to watch this City-Liverpool game. Is it on Sunday? Do you know when it is?
Yes, it is. It's an hour or two. It's an hour and 15 minutes after the Clasico.
Okay. Yeah, I might be able to just catch it, but I might be on the way to a match anyway. But that's me being very self-indulgent for a second. My point is, regardless of what way I watch out of its highlights, I can't wait to see that, because it's going to be fascinating. These two big teams have been, going toe-to-toe for a few years now, and it just seems like one of them's about to get shredded, as you say, so we'll see. We'll move on to a few of these things. So we've mentioned Liverpool a lot, we've mentioned City a lot, big weekend for them. If you had Trent, who are you replacing him with?
That's a tricky question.
Because we have to assume a lot of people have Cancelo, but then do you even replace him with Cancelo now based off game week 12? So there's a lot to consider.
This is a tricky question, because obviously I'm going to assume that you own Cancelo, you own James, because if you don't own either, you probably go to them. However, a lot of us are in the position where us managers, they have all 3 of them. So in that case, I don't think any of the premium assets stand out at this point in time. I mean, the Spurs wingbacks are looking prone to rotation. Liverpool defense is all over the place. With Chelsea, there's basically James or nothing, because, as we saw on the weekend, Potter really likes to rotate. Our City slots are occupied, and I would rather have double attack rather than double City defense. So where effectively do you go? Um, I personally think that there are two or three options. The first option is that you can go cheap to someone like Gehi in the Crystal Palace defense, because of the fixtures they have all the way till the World Cup starts. They're incredible fixtures. Um, and they also have a favorable fixture at home to Wolves in Game Week 12, which is crucial because we will need our bench strength in Game Week 12. The other option is to keep him on the bench and possibly buy someone like an Arsenal defender in Game Week 13, because Arsenal have a great run after Game Week 13 as well. I can see them keeping a few clean sheets, or you can get Robertson by if you really want to go and invest in a premium defender. I don't think I would go there personally because Liverpool have not impressed me defensively. But I mean, I don't think he's a hard sell this week because I think there's flexibility in keeping him um, and waiting for more news because there will be more pressing transfers to make in Game Week 12. But if you want to sell him, and if you're, for example, if you're a player short in Game Week 12, then I would go to a Crystal Palace defender. That's what I think should be the case.
You mentioned rolling for game week 12. Is this, is this week a week in particular where we should be considering rolling where, as you mentioned, sort of bench strength is going to be important and anything can happen with Champions League football midweek? Even after this weekend, there could be another injury or two in there, and then we've got game
Exactly.
week 12 on our doors. So flexibility is probably what we
Exactly.
need.
Exactly. I mean, you don't really want to book in too many transfers in advance. If you give yourself two free transfers heading into that week, you give yourself, plenty of opportunity to maneuver in case something comes up. And there are plenty of us who stuck with at least three from City and Arsenal. And obviously, I don't think it makes any sense to sell either of those at this point in time this week. So I just think that saving is generally the play, especially if someone like a Mitrovic is declared fit. Then I do think that is the move to make. A lot of us have Neco Williams, and I don't even know whether he's going to play in game week 12 now because he's been dropped for Odiad. So there are plenty of fires in the team which need to be dealt with.
Mitrovic is one of those, as you say, we need to hear more, and it is probably going to be wait till later in the week for pressers and see what the story is. I haven't heard much about him personally, but I can't say I've been looking. Still yellow flagged on the site. What are we doing with Mitrovic? Waiting?
We've got to wait for news. If he has a chance of starting against Bournemouth, you have to keep him. I mean, surely, because you don't sell an attacker before the Bournemouth fixture, but we don't have any clarity yet because in Friday's pre-match press conference, Silva did say that he should definitely be fine for Bournemouth, but after the West Ham game, he was sort of more pessimistic in his comments, and he sort of wasn't sure when Mitrovic will be back. So again, that sort of leaves a question mark on what to do if you own him. I guess Tony is probably the safe play at this point in time at a similar price. If let's say Mitrovic is out for a while, then you can go to Tony. I think he is a good replacement, or Solanke even is at a cheaper price. He does offer plenty of value. I think those are the two ones I would personally go for. Wilson, his fixtures are nice as well. I mean, I don't think he's a bad option. Martial is injured now. So I don't think there are too many places you can go to. There's Diego Jota. You can potentially, he's the wild card you can watch out for because he's a forward now, but he's more expensive than Mitrovic. So I'm not really sure whether a lot of managers will have the luxury to go there. But if he looks good in the Champions League, then I mean he could be worth keeping an eye on as well.
Bakar, we're going to have a look at our teams and then we're going to do some quick fire questions. Before we do that, though, I'm going to break your heart. And I don't think anyone here wants to see Bakar sad. But Bakar...
Yeah. How many likes on the video?
There's 625 people watching us right now. Less than 100 have hit the like button. 71. How does that make you feel?
I mean, why do these guys disappoint me week in, week out? I mean, why do we have to remind them? I think the next time when we start recording a video, we should, start and say that, hello and welcome to all the listeners. Please like and subscribe the video.
Like and subscribe, bros.
Yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel if you like watching us. I think that's the best way to do it. That's how the traditional YouTubers go about their things.
So, guys, please like and subscribe. The schedule for this week is I'm talking to Bakar today. Tomorrow, the Double Up podcast with Wes. On Thursday, I'm talking to FPL Salah, aka Abdul. And then there's the FPL Green Arrow after that on Thursday evening. So, another few great sort of video / podcast / whatever you want to call them coming this week. Bakar, let's jump over. I just need to load up the website here. I didn't click the button beforehand like I should have. This is just me tinkering around with transfers. But look, let's have a look at my game week first. We'll leave them waiting in suspense for your game week, the one they all care about. I got 70 points with a -4. I got very unlucky kind of later in the week last week. I ended up with a lot of sort of flags on players. I ended up with Bailey with a big orange flag, I had Mitrovic with a yellow flag, and I had Fofana with a red. And then on top of that, I kind of knew that Nico Williams and I assumed Andreas wasn't a great pick, albeit he got a goal.
Yeah.
But I kind of had it that I didn't have much depth. So I panicked a bit. I took a -4 the week before. I don't love taking -4s. It's not something I try to do every week. But I took another one just to kind of strengthen up a bit. I brought Zaha and Guehi in for Bailey and Fofana. I had just about enough money. So this week I had Pope in goal. Trippier got an assist, which was beautiful, and 2 bonus points. So 7 from Trippier again. He's ticking along even though they aren't keeping clean sheets, which is lovely. Cancelo smashed it. Zaha thankfully returned for me, but ultimately it didn't really gain from the transfers. Playing Andreas probably would have worked out better. Martinelli, brilliant. De Bruyne, Haaland captain, thankfully got a return. It was weird watching City scoring and Haaland not been involved. And then Ivan Toney with a return as well, paying me back for my loyalty last week with the captaincy. So 70 points, -4 is 66. I think I was happy enough. Green Arrow, can't be too upset.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that would have upsetted me in the team is that Andreas all on your bench. That's the only thing that would have upsetted me. I mean, I think logically you made the right call playing, Guehi as the first sub, because I did think that there was a decent chance that Palace could have kept a clean sheet as well. But I mean, it's just one of those things, one of those 50-50 decisions that goes wrong more often than not when you need it to go right.
And it was one of those last 3-minute bits of tinkering when I was looking at the team, slapping the captaincy on, making sure, and just sort of drag Guehi in front of Andres, thinking, like I
these are the
him.
small things. These are the small things, John, which really sort of annoy me because, most of us have the same squad, right? More or less the same squad, the same set of players. So it is these 50-50s which differentiate you from the rest of the crowd. And when these go against you, it really sort of hurts.
Yeah.
Especially
100%.
when half the world has Andreas coming off the bench.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I was kind of heartbroken about that, Bakar. Looking ahead to next week, though, I'll just pull this up on the screen. This is the My Team tool on Fantasy Football Hub. If you want to give it a crack or anything else on Fantasy Football Hub, use the link in the description. You can sign up for free and have a tinker, and if you do sign up, you get 30% off. But my team for next week is looking like this. I might need to switch 1 or 2 bits around, but I basically got Haaland captain there against Liverpool, Toney against Brighton, Mitrovic will wait and see against Bournemouth. If not, I think I'd probably play Andreas over Guehi. I think Leicester will probably score, so I'll probably play Andreas.
I'd do the same.
Zaha, De Bruyne, Maddison, Martinelli against Leeds, then Trippier and Pope against United, which I don't love, but it is what it is. James and Cancelo. I'd probably just roll. I don't think I'm looking at making any transfers. Now, if I was... No, I just don't see myself doing it. I don't see myself doing it. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to roll unless you, Wes, or Abdul convince me over the course of the week that I'm better at it.
Mitrovic, the only way I'd be tempted to move in your team is if Mitrovic is out for, let's say, a week. Because, we next week we will have midweek fixtures. So with the fixtures coming thick and fast, if Mitrovic, let's say, is out for another week, then that becomes a problem. In that case, I'd sell him. But ideally, I'd like to hold on to him.
Bakar, I've got your team on the screen now. 69 points all out. Talk to Solanke. Did well for you.
Solanke was an absolute hero. I mean, I was dreading the City fixture because I didn't have that second City attacker. No Foden. No De Bruyne, more importantly, because his ownership is much higher than Foden's. So I wasn't really looking forward to Saturday's game, and I was sure that my transfer from De Bruyne to Salah, which I made in game week 9, was going to bite me in the ass yet again. But thankfully, I mean, De Bruyne just got an assist. Solanke was the absolute hero this week. I think he's the sole reason why I got a green arrow. Pope was slightly annoying. I mean, Newcastle are winning by that margin for the second week in a row. You'd expect him to at least keep one clean sheet. So he's been a real disappointment ever since I wildcarded. But other than that, I mean, I'm very happy with the performance. A lot of people sort of didn't have Martinelli this week, so Martinelli coming through was a big plus as well. Um, and I've already spoken about Andres. I mean, I had Perisic who first on my bench who came on, 10 minutes at the end, and that was really annoying because had he started, it would have been a 6-pointer. As it turns out, it was a 1-pointer, and it was a bad swing against Andres owners.
I love that Martinelli haul. Because whenever you stuck with him, and a lot of people got rid of him on wild cards, and I was kind of not against him. I kept him, but I was kind of like, ugh. I was just kind of like, ugh. I didn't like his fixtures and the blank and whatever else. And I was kind of like, ugh, I don't know, I might get rid of him, but I didn't because the value built up and because how quality is, and he showed that. So that one hit different because I kind of expected it. I mean, when I looked at my team, even looking at your team, there's no one there who got points that would have surprised you. There's a few that didn't get points that might surprise you. But Martinelli, you wouldn't have called a 12-pointer there, I don't think.
Obviously not a 12-pointer. I would have expected, one assist or a goal or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, 12 points was definitely more than I expected.
So for next week, Bakar, I've got your team in the My Team tool here. What are we thinking?
What do you think I should do? I mean, I think it's an easy save for me, considering especially if Mitrovic is fine. I don't think there's any reason to move. In fact, I have a bit of a benching headache this week again, and I'm very sort of worried that I might get it wrong again. As of now, I have Trippier on the bench. I will be playing Cancelo, James, and Perisic. Now, Perisic is the interesting one because he has had his rest, and I would assume that he's going to play the Champions League, which is Wednesday, and then Spurs again play on Saturday, which is a short turnaround. So I'm not really sure whether Perisic is going to start. Again, this is a decision I will take after the UCL, depending on how many minutes he gets, what it looks like on Friday, whether or not it looks like he's going to start on Saturday, because Perisic is a bit of a worry, and I'm not sure whether he's going to play. I mean, I have Trippier on the bench, so he can easily come in if I think that Perisic won't start. But a fixture at home to Everton, I mean, that is Hall territory if he starts. So I don't think I will bench him, even if I sort of feel that he could be a substitute, because this is a big fixture for him.
I'll ask you one because it's a headache, not a headache of mine, but something I'm considering here looking at it. Trippier away to Man United. Not really keeping clean sheets. You're backing an attacking return there.
Yeah.
Or Andreas at home to Bournemouth.
I would still pick Trippier.
That's a rough
one. I would
one.
still pick Trippier. I would still pick Trippier because both of them have because I mean both of them
Let us know in the comments on that one. Trippier
both
or
of them have
Andreas?
similar attacking threat. I don't think Andres has huge attacking threat. I honestly think that Trippier with set pieces has almost equal attacking threat as compared to Andres, and there's the outside chance of a clean sheet as well.
Yeah.
So I would probably go with Trippier, to be very honest with you. In my team, I mean, I have more of a benching head with Perisic, but in your position, I do think I would go with Trippier. The only thing I don't like is the fact that you're doubling up on the Newcastle defense away to United, which isn't ideal at all. But when you look at it in isolation, and if you ignore the fact that you're playing double defense, it is the right move based on rationale.
Well, Bakar, will we do some quick fire questions and hit the road? I think there's a lot of people need questions answered.
Sure.
So I'll be interested to see what you're going to do this week. People can check you out on Twitter. Your handle's below your head if they want to see what you end up doing. And my handle's below my head over here. So, Bakar, 53 the record. 53 questions answered in 5 minutes, and we're wrapping up. We need help from the audience. We need them all to submit questions that are A or B. So I see one there from Lendo. Zaha or Trossard? Don't answer it yet. Or yes or no. Should I do this? Should I bin him? Should I captain him? That sort of stuff. Yes or no, A or B. spam them in those comments. Don't spam, but you know what I mean. And we'll answer as many as we can in 5 minutes, and we'll wrap up.
Yeah, John, just before we go to the questions, I'd just like to, this is because this is another very popularly asked question this week. Just like to address this. A lot of people have Luis Diaz and they're considering what to do. I would.
Yep.
There's obviously news that he's going to be out till the World Cup. So I mean, it's very unfortunate, but you have to sell him. If I was picking a midfielder right now, I would prefer Zaha because, again, as I said, Crystal Palace's fixtures till the World Cup are great. If you have Zaha, then there's Madison. I would pick because Madison's fixtures are great as well. And if not, then there's Bowen. I mean, that's the way I would rank them personally.
Cool. Yeah, I think we're spoiled in there. We didn't even mention Foden because assuming people either have him or De Bruyne. So Foden, Zaha, Madison, all top picks, and then on top of that, there's the Trossard's been thrown out here, or the Bowens, or the whoever else's. So you wouldn't be stuck for a choice. Yeah, I mean, there's Trossard who's very good as well. I didn't mention Foden because of his blank in Gameweek 12, but I do think that long term he's the best out of these midfielders to pick. Trossard is actually a fantastic pick because in Gameweek 12, you don't actually have an obvious captain. I mean, a lot of us don't have Salah, so if you want to bet against Liverpool and the fact that they aren't looking great, you can look at someone like a Trossard who has Nottingham Forest at home in Gameweek 12. So actually, Trossard could even be better than Bowen or Madison if buying one right now because he's likely to be a potential captaincy option in 12. But Zaha would still be my number one pick. Yeah, I think. Music to my ears because I have him. So guys, we're going to need your help. Make sure you get the comments in. If I run out of comments and questions to ask, Bakar can't break his record of 53. Are you ready, Bakar?
Yeah, of course.
And again, I might hit you with the same ones once or twice. Just in the interest of upping your score. So, let's do it. Okay. Zaha or Trossard?
Zaha.
Philip Billing, yes or no?
No.
Rashford, yes or no?
No.
De Bruyne out for Mount and Kane on a -4?
No.
Firmino or Nunez?
Nunez.
Keep or hold Mitrovic?
Keep.
Or hold. Tony or Wilson?
Tony.
Rashford or Trossard?
Trossard.
Sell Trent for who?
Already discussed this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good man. Okay. Trippier, bench, yes or no?
I don't mind.
Salah and Mitrovic out. Trossard and Kane in for a -4.
Ballsy, but could pay off. Again, you're leaving yourself at the risk of going without a Liverpool player in Gameweek 12.
Bench 1, Zaha, Sterling, Madison.
Zaha, Sterling, Madison. I won't want to be making this decision if I'm being very honest. I'd probably bench Sterling, I think.
Is Kufal a priority transfer out?
Not really this week. But if you have less people in Gameweek 12, then yeah, you can afford to get a better player.
Captain Madison or Trossard?
This week, Madison.
Trent to a Brighton defender?
I don't mind.
Kane and Trossard in, KDB and Tony out.
Unlikely to pay off if you're not captaining Kane.
Player we didn't mention, Skamaka?
Fixtures are a bit dicey. I mean, Liverpool next week away. I know Liverpool aren't great, but United again in game week 14. So I think there are better options.
Kufal to Mings?
I won't go there. Villa are terrible this season.
Trossard or Son?
Trossard.
KDB, hold or sell?
Easily hold.
Who to captain this week, Kane or Haaland?
Haaland.
Salah to Son or Trossard?
Trossard.
Madison or Bowen?
Madison.
Best replacement for Diaz, 3 million in the bank. Zaha, Madison, or he's got Zaha. Zaha. Yeah. We'll just go with Zaha based on time. Pope to Kappa for free.
No. Won't go there.
Webster or Botman?
Webster.
Perisic and Bailey to Gehi and Zaha.
Yes.
Okay. Skamaka or Jota for game week 13 onwards?
Again, depends on how Jota looks in the Champions League.
Aubameyang, yay or nay?
I think he's a great option, but again, you leave yourself with the risk of rotations here and there.
Anderson, Mings or Webster?
Anderson.
Bailey and Emerson to Eze and Guehi.
Bailey and Emerson, right? Yeah, I would sell. I would sell for. I think they're better options than Eze, but yeah, I like Yehi.
We said that last week and he scored. But
Yeah.
Aubameyang or Firmino?
Aubameyang.
Barnes or Trossard?
Trossard.
Oh god, there's lots of these. Madison or Anthony? Anthony's a player.
I would still prefer Madison because of the fixtures.
Anthony, yay or nay?
I won't say nay. I mean, he's a punt, but I don't mind going there.
Pope or Ward?
You can go with Ward this week, better fixture, but I would still prefer Pope simply because he's in a better defense, and I do think the Crystal Palace will score, to be very honest with you.
So we play Pope.
Yep.
Guaita or Pope?
Guaita.
Ronaldo punt?
No.
Paqueta keeper sell?
I don't. Has to be a sell. I don't think he's a FPL option at all. Sadly.
Daka?
Too risky. 60 minutes, get subbed early. Will always be at risk.
Mount for game week 11?
Not a bad option, but again, he's one of those who could be rotated, which is why I didn't name him in the list of the 8 million midfielders that I liked.
Sanchez or Ward?
Sanchez this week.
Time up, Bakar. You managed 10, 20, 30, 37 questions. 37. That first week was the first week was the most you ever got. You must have just been ruthless then.
Yeah. I mean, we might since we're averaging more or less around 40, 45. Isn't great.
53.
Yeah,
record.
maybe we set our standards too high.
I don't know. I think it's always nice to aim for shoot for the stars. But anyway, everyone here can shoot for the stars this weekend, and so can we, Bakar. Let's go. Let's hope we improve these beautiful green arrows. I want to be top 1 million next week. That's where I want to be. Ambitious, I think. So I want to see you in the top 500k.
I bloody hope so, man. I hope so.
Well, look, Bakar.
Fingers crossed. I need some luck going my way. I'm sat here. I'm sat here. I've played like Andres like 4 times this season, and he's had like I think 2 1-pointers, 2 blanks, and the week where I need him to blank, he goes out there and scores a worldie from like an XG of minimal XG, where he hits a one with his left foot and it goes in. Like I'm like literally
heartbroken.
this game. I mean, this game.
Well, look, there's 800 people here of a Tuesday lunchtime. Thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe on your way out the door. You can find Bakar at BigManBakar on Twitter. You can find me at John Nellis. Thank you so much for being here. Bakar's back every week, so we'll see you next week, Bakar.
Sure. Looking forward to having you back. Enjoy your trip to Paris.
I will. I was actually just about to say it. Don't know when we'll do it next week. Did you say there's midweek fixtures next week?
Yes, there are.
Yeah, we could be in trouble because I'm in Paris till Tuesday, so we'll have to work something out, but we'll work that out. That's for another day. See you later, guys.